In a significant move that makes us less safe and chills dissent, Trump's Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has fired the general in charge of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, otherwise known as DIA, because apparently the agency's assessment, although correct about our strike against the Iran nuclear facilities, angered Trump. My name is Dina with the MeidasTouch Network. Let's break this down. Now, the Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz was just fired by Trump, apparently because Trump was angered. As we know, the initial assessment that came out was that the nuclear facilities were not completely obliterated, as Trump went and said to the public, using that exact quote, obliterated. But the assessment that came out from the intelligence community was that there was significant, but not to the extent that Trump said that the damage was. And Trump was upset about this. Later assessments found that that initial assessment proved to be correct and that the U.S. only caused significant damage to 1 out of the 3 nuclear sites. Despite the fact that this lieutenant general headed the agency who had a correct initial assessment, because the fact that his assessment was different than the lies that Trump said to the public, this warranted, apparently, his firing. Now, as we know, Trump is doing this by agency to agency. We see him doing it with the Federal Reserve chair that he's trying to fire. We saw him do it when he didn't like the job numbers. We see what's happening with the CDC. Loyalty to Trump is more important than how somebody is doing their job. But especially when you are dealing with the defense of our country, firing somebody who is correct, but maybe not willing to continue your lie is especially dangerous. Now, Press Secretary Leavitt was just asked recently what the White House position was on the firing of federal workers who may not be loyalists. Take a listen and tell me if you feel any safer.
Administration officials are pushing back on the president's agenda, privately, publicly, however. Should they fear to lose their jobs going forward?
Look, I think if you're doing your job well, and if you are executing on the vision and the promises that the president made to the public who elected him back to this office, then you should have no fear about your job. Just do your job. That's what this president wants to see. He wants to see people solving problems. He wants to see the people who have the privilege of serving the American taxpayer and the federal government abiding by the wishes of the American taxpayers who overwhelmingly reelected him in this cabinet to make America great again, or in this case, make America healthy again.
Now, Hegseth appears to be cleaning up military officials. Not only are they firing many people, but they're also revoking security clearances. Now, in addition to the Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz that was fired, they also just recently fired Vice Admiral Nancy LaCour, who was the chief of the Navy Reserve, Rear Admiral Milton Sands, a Navy SEAL officer who oversaw the Naval Special Warfare Command, and no reason was given for any of these. Now, this, of course, is in addition to the firings that we have seen in the spring, starting in April. In April, he fired the National Security Agency director. He's also fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Navy's top officer, the Air Force's second highest ranking officer, and top lawyers for 3 of the military service branches. And he has announced that General David Alvin is planning to retire 2 years early. That is the Air Force's top uniformed officer. That is what you call a sweep. As we know, Trump has really only been in office for months, and they appear to be purging the Defense Department, the Pentagon, all of these related agencies to replace them with their loyalists. And not only is it the people, but also the funds. They have cut $700 million from the Pentagon budget in order to, and this is annually, cutting it. And those funds had gone to the Foreign Malign Influence Center, which was specifically meant to track the influence from foreign countries in our country and in our elections. And this, of course, we have Tulsi Gabbard out there saying that this needs to be cut because they need to stop redundancy. They need to stop the weaponization of intelligence information. But make no mistake, this is clear because under Trump, he doesn't mind foreign influence, interference, especially with our election. He's doing so many things domestically to try to interfere with our election, right? With Texas gerrymandering, purging voter rolls, trying to get the Supreme Court to overturn the Voting Rights Act. But specifically, when it comes to foreign influence in our elections, it's not an accident because not only have they cut it here in the Defense Department, but they have also cut it at the FBI. Pam Bondi has already announced that the FBI eliminated their task force that was specifically also meant to combat foreign interference also in their elections. So you have both the FBI, obviously dealing with domestic, and now this international intelligence community, both of them cutting task force meant to protect our country from foreign interference and with our elections. This is how you make our country less safe. It's way too hot for bulky, uncomfortable bras. This summer, I'm reaching for Honeylove's cutting-edge bra collection to stay cool, comfortable, and supported all season long. Its quality and fabric are unmatched. Never mind, it's very comfortable. If you're still dealing with underwire pokes or bras that feel like body armor, it's time for a serious upgrade. Honeylove makes the best wireless bras that feel like a second skin. They're lightweight, breathable, and perfect for hot summer days. Whether you're rocking a t-shirt, tank top, or breezy sundress, their bras give you just the right amount of lift without the squeeze thanks to years of research, development, and testing. It's the ultimate bra experience. And Honeylove isn't just about bras. They've got shapewear, tanks, and leggings that are just as comfortable and supportive. Honeylove's best-selling Super Power Short is a must-have. It's very comfortable compared to traditional shapewear. It has targeted compression technology that distinguishes between areas where you want more support and areas you need less compression. Plus, the best part is it won't ever roll up or down thanks to flexible boning hidden in the side seams. Treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/mistrial. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/mistrial. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras with Honeylove. In addition to these military firings, they're also revoking security clearances. 37 current and former officials had their security clearances revoked. Now, usually you want former officials to have security clearance in order to have some sort of continuity with the national security of this country. Trump, however, seems to not want anybody who he has not selected to know what he is doing to this country. And even in their creating secrecy around what these government officials and agencies are doing, they're doing that even incompetently as they revoke the security clearance of an undercover CIA official. Now, Hegseth's incompetency is on full display. I mean, this is why he overcompensates with his pull-up competitions. Nobody cares about your pull-ups. We care whether or not the intelligence is accurate and whether or not the military leaders in charge are qualified and know what they're doing to keep us safe. Now, Hegseth just was in the cabinet meeting with Trump, and he boldly decided to declare Trump a peace president. Now, this is despite the fact that Trump has done nothing to stop the war in Ukraine. If anything, he probably made things worse with his talks with the Russian president. Same with Gaza. People there are starving to death. If anything, he has made that much worse since he's come to office with doing absolutely nothing to rein in Netanyahu. Then you have the fact that he is sending 4,000 Marines off the coast of Venezuela because he decides he wants to take out Maduro, and Maduro in response calls up millions of militia. Trump is anything but the peace president. The problem is that the person in charge of all these wars is technically Pete Hegseth. Take a listen to him trying to make the argument for why we should all get on board with all of these wars.
So my platoon in Guantanamo Bay, our motto was, those who long for peace must declare for war, must prepare for war. We don't want war, we don't seek it. You are the peace president, sir. Because we are strong, our enemies know what we will do. And so whether it's Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense, that warrior ethos is changing. We're going back to basics.
Democratic senators are not staying silent about Trump's purging of military leaders. There's a lot of noise and really horrible actions from this Trump regime. But thankfully here at MeidasTouch, we try to talk about them all because they are all so important. Senator Chris Van Hollen, one of the Democratic senators calling Trump out, says, quote, "This is another dangerous move that will undermine our national security and intelligence operations. Trump and Hegseth want to surround themselves with suck-ups and sycophants who tell them what they want to hear, not the facts. This will put American lives in harm's way." End quote. And the fact is, national security is a bipartisan issue. Whether or not you live in a red state or a blue state, you get affected the same way. Republicans, Democrats, the intelligence community, having military leaders who are qualified didn't used to be controversial. So here at MeidasTouch, we are calling this out. If you haven't yet hit the subscribe button, be sure to do that so you can get updates on all this and many other issues to come.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.